is here to talk to you guys about KW's site. Just wanted to recap so you guys aren't, well, I'll let you, you know. I'm going to give it over to Jay.
Thank you. So if you are looking for help on your agent site, this is not the class. This is landing pages for sites. So I just want to clarify that. So if you're having trouble launching your site, getting it set up, all of that good stuff, that's not me today, at least. It may be us in a future class, but today we're doing landing pages. I know that Mariana posted, kind of what we're learning today. I normally like a very interactive class, but unfortunately today I'm going to be walking you through the steps. So if you have your laptop, you will leave having already done the pages, so we can kind of get through that. You do have a copy of the presentation, so after you leave today, you'll have the steps to do them in the future as well, because you may not have a listing to set it up with today or something like that. So you have all the tools to get through it today and to get through it in the future, okay? So we're going to jump right in. Let me pull this up.
Who did that? Who haven't I given a card to?
So what we're going to start with first is an open house sign-in sheet. So who uses something? I know there's like several sites that you can use, like Open Home Pro and various others. How much would you like to have a site that when they add in their information, it directly goes into your command right away? We would love that. Yes? It makes life easy, right? So that's going to be one of the first things the first thing that we go over. And then we're also going to talk about adding those leads to a smart plan. So just a really quick overview, the open house sign-in sheet. I'll show you guys an example of one. Okay, absolutely. So there'll be a lot of going back and forth today. There we go. So this is what the open house landing sheet is going to look like. So I'm walking you through the steps of this. So you can see it's going to have your branded information at the top. It's going to have a sign-in request for the sellers, and then information about the actual listing, all the pictures, the description from MLS, everything about it, neighborhood, all of that good stuff. So what these landing pages are is they are not a page that's connected to your website. It is a freestanding web page. So that means that we can go in and customize them, create whatever we want to, pretty much. So they're made up of what are called widgets. So that's what we're going to be going through the steps of today, is going through and actually creating the page and adding the widgets and customizing them. Does that make sense so far? Think of it as like a puzzle that you're putting the pieces together, but then you get to color in the pieces. So kind of one way to think about it. So for the sign-in sheet, so if you have your computer, go ahead and open up and go to Command.
So there's an app on our phones,
Yep.
but I don't see it on the iPad. Is that weird or what? There's no
The
command.
app?
Yeah.
So
You need to go to the desktop version.
Yeah, well, you need to use Google Chrome on your iPad.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And then just log into Command. Yeah, I have never set up any of it on any of the apps. I would imagine it would be
It's going to be
difficult.
harder to use an iPad.
Okay.
Yeah.
KWcommand.com.
Agent.kw.com.
All right, so once you're in Command, this is what the main dashboard looks like. The first thing you're going to do is, of course, go down to Sites. And it can be a little bit slower since we're all logged on to the same Wi-Fi. So you can see here is a list of like the sites that I've created so far, landing pages and whatnot. So right now, once you go into Sites, the first thing you're going to do is click on Create a New Site. And you are not going to click on My Agent Site. You're going to use a standalone page. And then you're going to click Create Page.
Okay.
And if you guys can follow along in the handout
Instructions.
he gave you, there's a whole sheet, step
Does
by
everyone get
step,
one?
on here. Yeah, no, this is like, to follow along.
Yes. Okay, so once you're here, so this is where we get to start adding the widgets and creating the content. So it's just a blank canvas. So at the top, you're going to name this open house, sign in, whatever you want to for the address so that you know what it is. We're just going to call this 123 Main Street sign in. Doesn't matter what you call it, honestly. Name it whatever you want to. So then once we're adding the widgets, you're going to add a branded header, and all you do is click on it, drag, and drop. Okay? You're going to notice that it goes ahead and puts that widget or that section into the page. Don't worry about formatting. For some reason, every time I add it, it doubles my picture. We'll go through and fix that. Okay? So once you have that, the next one that you're going to do is going to be what's called the lead form. You're going to drag and drop it. Notice the green line shows you whether or not it's going above or below. The first one is your header. You want the lead form to be below that, so just make sure that the green line that's running across is at the bottom.
Can you slow down just a little bit?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Just.
I'm trying to catch up time just a little bit, sorry.
But if you
We
catch
went a
up
little
time
bit
and
long.
you lose us, then.
Absolutely, I understand.
Okay, so what's the first one?
So let's go back. So let's go back.
We
to
are on
create a
first step,
sign.
I'm just kidding.
So let's go back to create a sign.
Okay.
And then I got this pop up. And so did you say
You're going to use a standalone page.
Okay.
Yep. You're good. And then just kind of everyone nod or let me know like when we're ready to move on then. It's
Now, we could do the same thing on my agent side, right? Or no?
No.
Okay.
Nope, not talking about the agent side at all. There are ways that you have to create pages and then sync those to your site, create SEO, create a slot, all of that kind of stuff. It's different. So I'm sure you could, but the point of having that, it's going to be in your drop-down menu. You wouldn't really want an open house sign-in sheet in your drop-down menu for everyone to see.
All the way down, the last one.
Are we on the first thing, the open house thing?
Yeah, so we're on like page 4. So if you're on the handout, if you're following along with that, we're on page 4. Yeah.
Rename the page top line. And you
Guys,
name
a
it
really
open house
important
sign-in
step.
sheet?
A really important step, if you haven't done this, hopefully you guys have, is you need to make sure your marketing profiles are up to date. Because it's going to be pulling your headshot, your phone number, all of your contact information from that marketing profile. So if you do not have your marketing profile set up, come see me. I'm going to show you guys on the app, our Market Center, how you can do those steps. Okay?
Is everyone caught up? Yes? Okay. So what we just added was called the lead form widget. After that, you're going to the listing detail. And so same thing, you're just going to scroll to the bottom of the lead form, grab the listing widget, and drag it over. And then now if you scroll down, it'll have, and this just puts it in as a generic, nothing really. It's going to be we're going to customize it in a little bit. We'll show it like what address to pull from. So that was the listing detail. And then if you wanted to include a market snap, you can do that as well. So same thing, you would just drag and drop. If this black bar is at the bottom for you, once you're happy with your layout, blah, 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 you can just hit that square and it'll disappear. It's
So you're
not
talking about
important.
creating one of these sheets for each
Open house.
different one, because it's going to be branded with the address. and stuff.
You can copy you can copy pages though. So once you've created this, you can go through and copy it and duplicate the site basically and just change the information out. Okay, so then from there we did the market snap for neighborhood. So then at the bottom of that, you're going to do agent branding because you do want your face and your information on there as well when they're signing in. So that's what that looks like. And then from there, no matter what page you're adding, go ahead and always add the legal footer. I don't know the law on it, but just better be safe than sorry. So go ahead and add in the legal footer, and that's when it explains all the offices are individually owned and operated. It does list the broker information. A cool thing is if you have any of your social media linked with your command, that's where it also puts in your social media links that they can go ahead and click. So you'll notice mine has like Facebook, Instagram, and I have a YouTube channel. So it has that connected as well. And again, don't worry about what it says right now. We're going to fix the content. We're just getting the puzzle pieces in place. Is everyone caught up?
She's not. Where you at?
You just click on it to where it's going to highlight and you just press delete.
are you at?
Have you set up your marketing profile?
No, I just have, I said, okay, I'm gonna decide. Started there. Business, and then I got to.
That's what we're listing at.
All of that.
No. Okay, is everyone caught up? Can we go to the next step?
What's the very first widget you slid over to?
The very first one is branded header. So all the widgets, everything is listed in here too. So it gives you the exact order that you need to add them as well. So the branded header is your first one, then the lead form, and then listing detail, market snap for the neighborhood, branded agent, and legal footer.
Yeah.
Hey Jake, we may not be able to get through all three of the different ones, but if you will do me a favor, it will be helpful if he walks through that process one more time.
Yes.
Okay, if you'll just, because I think they're still trying to understand the whole widget
Yep,
thing.
absolutely.
That's why they're a little behind.
Can I ask a quick question?
At size.
Is there a way to delete the ones that you moved over and start over?
So on my computer, once you click on it, once it's added, I can just hit delete and it goes away. Someone else's wasn't doing that, so I'm not sure if it's different between a Mac and a PC. But did that work for you?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so there you go. It should work. So if you drag a widget over and it was the wrong one, you should just be able to click on that widget. It'll kind of outline it, and then hit delete, and it'll go away.
Actually, if you tap on it, it gives you this little box, at least on the PC, where you can upload it or put it in the trash can.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I'm going back to the very first steps, just to kind of review it for everyone. So if you're having trouble, you can watch this time, and I will go slower. So this is for the first step of creating any site is going to be on the Sites tab. You're going to click the Create a New Site button. And what we're talking about today are standalone pages, okay? So you're going to click as a standalone page, and then Create Page. So what you're looking at on the left-hand side, what's outlined in kind of that bluish teal green color, that's just your blank canvas, okay? So think of the items that are on the right-hand side. These are all what are called widgets. So when you drag one of those over and put it on your canvas, it's going to stick it in whatever order you add them in, and it will pull information from your branded website. So it should pull over your license number, your name, your picture, any of that. And then once we get all the puzzle pieces in the right place, the next thing we'll do is actually configure all the content. So don't worry about it right now. The main thing that you're doing on this page is identifying which widgets you'll need and in what order you'll need them. Yes, sir?
Do they all have to be set in sequence? Mariana?
You should add them in sequence, yes.
So when it says.
Does that make sense for everyone? Kind of wrapping your brain around what this page is. Does that help? Yes? No? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so then once you have the blank thing, so every site you create may have a different number of widgets or a different combination. I have several that I've created that some of them are as few as like 3 widgets, and some of them are 6 or 7. Kind of a general rule of thumb that I go through when I'm creating is you're always going to want the branded header first. Okay, so that's the same for this page. So all I do is click branded header and drag it over. So you can see it should pull your name, phone number, and email that you have on your website and your headshot. You'll notice my headshot, like I mentioned earlier, is kind of doubled. I can fix that later. Don't worry about it here, okay? All you need to worry about on this one is adding the puzzle pieces, okay? Not what's on them. So it's kind of like putting together a blank puzzle. As long as the piece fits together, it goes in, okay? All right? So from there, the next one that you're wanting, so again, this is to capture leads at an open house. So the next widget that you're going to use is called the lead form. So you can drag that and pull it in. And so like notice here it says interested, let's talk. We're going to change that later, but what you need is somewhere for them to enter their name and their contact information. Okay, so that's the second widget. From there, since it is an open house, you want to go ahead and talk to them or show them about the house. So from there, you're going to pull in the listing widget, and again, you just drag that down here at the bottom, and it will automatically go under the lead form widget. So now if I scroll down, there's information about a listing. So you'll notice that is not my listing. Again, don't worry about it. We'll correct the listing in the next step, okay? From there, if you wanted to include a market stat for the neighborhood, you can. I've done some open houses or an open house where you use this. You don't have to. Most time people, when they sign in, they're not even gonna really scroll down that far, to be honest. So if you want to add it though, it is a really cool feature. So you can add in the market snap, and same thing, you're just gonna drag it down here to the bottom and drop it in. And you'll see that it says your template was successfully updated, so now you can scroll down. Again, right now it shows Barton Hills, which is a suburb of Austin. You can scroll down, you're going to change that later.
So do we need to go ahead and put in an active listing of something just to fill the...
Not yet.
Okay.
No, puzzle pieces first, and we'll get to adding a listing later. So from there, you're going to add in, so now if they do scroll this far, you've already introduced yourself, but you want to, again, have them see your information. So from there, you're going to add in, it's back at the top, agent branding. That goes at the bottom. So now my information's in there again. And after that, the bottom of the form should always be the legal footer. And again, you can scroll down and see what that looks like. So again, kind of when you're creating these landing pages, you almost always want to start with a branded header, and you're always going to want to end with a legal footer. What you put in the middle, between the top and the bottom of the sandwich, that's up to you. And pretty much the sky's the limit with what you can create. I'll show you kind of several examples at the end. Hopefully we've got time to go through like a lot of them, just to kind of so you can see the potential of what the sites can do. So from there, don't forget that at the top, really, you should also then change the name. So this, the one we were gonna do, I just put in 123 Main Street. Sign in is fine. Okay, so is everyone caught up to this point?
If you put legal footer twice, how do I?
You should just be able to click on one of them and hit delete.
I figured out the delete, so click on the form, or click on the widget.
Yep.
So there, see how the box up in the right hand corner, see that blue box up here?
Yes.
The very last one, the fourth
Is
box,
delete.
is the delete.
Okay.
Now those boxes, my guess is there's a glitch in the system, but those images should be like, the last one should probably be a trash can to show you delete, right? So I just figured it out, the very last square, if you click it, it will delete it.
And I know because one of them changes the size for
Yeah.
mobile.
Yeah, I haven't figured out what the other ones do, but
I try to
that's
play
delete.
with those squares as little as possible because it does change the sizing of the items, and I think it
got it.
has to. So the reason that we're wanting to do this and kind of talking about sites, and hopefully we talk about it a lot more, is in about a month to 6 weeks or so, maybe a little bit after that, the consumer app is going to be released. So everything that you're doing for your agent site will then be in the palm of your person's hand. Not to click, like have to go to a search engine and look for you, but they can click on the app and all of your stuff will be there. And it's going to be very consumer friendly if you've set it up and if you've optimized it. So your goal should really be to get into the sites page, figure it out, learn about it, all that, because the freestanding sites and your agent site are going to be really imperative when you start sharing that consumer app with people. Okay? So from here, now we have all of our puzzle pieces in place. What we're actually going to do now is update all the information. So you can go ahead and if you're following along in the paper one, you can go to page 5. So at the bottom now, you're going to click Configure Widgets. So we added a total of 6 widgets. At the top right-hand side, you'll see that right now I'm on the legal footer, which is number 6 of 6. I'm going to go all the way back to the top. There we go. And now I can fix this one or update it. So your header text is going to be what shows to the right of the KW logo. So for this one, you can just say 123 Main Street, open house.
He's
Okay.
on step number 7, by the way, if you want to follow along.
And as you type it, it is not going to show up in the screen to the left, okay? So you're going to enter all the information, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So from here, I would normally fix this on my computer because I have my headshot uploaded. But if your headshot is like that, all you have to do is click on the little picture image here and re-upload your headshot. I think it's another glitch in the site, but it's not that big of a deal to re-upload it's a drag and drop. So if your headshot is doubled, it will fix it. It's not doubled on my actual website version, so I think it's just a glitch within sites, okay? So then my name is correct, my phone number is correct, my email is correct. I am not part of a team, so I do not have to add a team logo. If you are a member of a team and you wanted to add your team logo in that header, this bottom section for the drop here or click to browse, that would be where you would drag and drop that logo. Does everyone understand that? Okay, perfect. So then now at the bottom, I'm going to click Save and Apply. You'll notice that the screen refreshes, and now to the left, my header now says 123 Main Street Open House. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So once you do that, you can scroll back up to the top, and that arrow next to 1.6, or you can go to the second one, which is going to be your lead form. All that you can change on this is the header. So where it says interested, let's talk. So this is kind of one of the things where you can do whatever your spiel is to get people to sign in, whether it's, please sign in for the seller, or the seller asks that you sign in, or whatever that is, that's what you can type in there. So I generally would just put,
I have a question.
please sign in. Yes.
Back on our first one, I've tried to put my address in there and it does not show up.
Okay. So same thing, once you put in whatever verbiage you would like to use there, click Save and Apply. You'll see it refresh, and now it says, please sign in. So this widget, what it does is it's normally, so something like this is on your agent site for people, if they're looking around, they can type in their name and address, and it sends you a lead. This is the most imperative widget on this page for the sign-in. This is what captures their information, loads them into your command under contacts, and will flag them as a lead. So does everyone understand why that widget is very important, what it does? It takes their name, their phone number, and address, and it automatically puts it in command and puts an orange, I think, L next to it as a lead. Okay? So that one's huge. It's a great value. So once you've done Save and Apply, again, you can go to number 3. So this is where it says no listing selected. This is where you get to add in your listing. So you're going to click Browse Listings. And in here, you can click on Search by Property Address, and it can be whatever. So I'm just going to pick one that I did last weekend. Search. Make sure that you find the correct listing. And then you'll press Select. If you want to change the first image that's shown, you can do that. Again, it's not going to show you a preview as you're doing it. Okay, so as you're editing on the right, nothing is going to change on the left until you click Save and Apply. The great thing is while you're in this step, I can change it to this picture, and I can say Save and Apply. It'll update.
Every time you say Save and Apply, is it for each phone?
It's each widget. So right now, I am changing the listing widget. So it's not each line in the widget that I have to do Save and Apply, but it's when I'm done editing that widget, I apply, or I hit Save and Apply.
So what widget are you?
So right now we're in the listing widget. So we just did the lead form widget, and now the next one is listing. So I've
3 out
selected
of
the.
5? Why do I only have 5?
So you deleted something. So does everyone understand that? The cool thing is once you hit Save and Apply, say that I don't like that as the first image. It's kind of the best we got on that one though. But if you wanted to change it, you can hit Save and Apply again. And so now it'll change it to the second image. So while you're here, you can play with it a little bit and kind of change things. This is pulling all of the pictures and description, all that directly from MLS. So say that for some reason you have a different picture that you want to upload for that's not on MLS. I don't know why you would, but it's possible. You do have that option to do a custom image, and you could do an upload from your desktop. Okay? Does everyone understand that widget? Cool. So then
Are you
you can
saying that if you put that address in that's on the MLS, it'll pull the pictures into it?
Absolutely, yeah, that's what I just did.
Mine.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
It's kind to be part of the KWLS, and just kind of a disclaimer, KWLS is still working on 2.0, so if you have an active listing, you don't see it in there, don't panic, there's nothing we can do about it until they update to 2.0. So just use another listing to play with it until you can find
And
it.
isn't it like coming soons will not be in there either? It's got to be live,
Yeah,
I
it
think,
has
too.
to be live, yeah.
Okay. So then from there you can click Save and Apply. And then you're going to go to the next widget. So instead of 3 of 6, you're going to number 4. This is the Market Snap. So if you're on here, we're on step number 9. I'm going to be honest, I usually don't include the Market Snap because it is one of the ones that's still a little bit finicky. Sometimes it doesn't always change the map. So you may be stuck with a map section of Austin, which is what it defaults to. It's in beta.
It changed.
Oh, it did for you? Okay. So I know that like sometimes I've done it and it's gotten it right and sometimes I don't. So if it doesn't get it right, I just delete the widget. But again, you can change the header here if you wanted to. So up there it says market report for the area. I don't remember the zip code for this one, so let's just use the market centers. And then we can select the neighborhood of, so if you know all the way down to what neighborhood it's in, that's how specific it allows you to get. So from there, once you change the header, you have updated the zip code and select your neighborhood, then again you can click Save and Apply. You can scroll down there and see, so mine today did not change, it's still a map of Austin. So that widget, feel free, you don't have to have it. There's already a map in the previous widget. You don't have to have it, it's not a big deal. Yes?
Is there a way to undo something?
Have you already moved on from that widget?
Yeah, good luck.
I went back to it and I was trying to move my picture and it just did like this weird thing.
Yeah, you can't move the picture. Once you do it, detaches from that widget and it gets very funky. So,
you know, with your picture, it was like you could see like a part of the, you know, it was doing that for mine. So would it just automatically, like when you're done, it'll go away?
no, it shouldn't.
No,
So
what
it
I
may.
mean is, so like I can see my picture, but then like a piece of
Oh, like your
like,
headshot
just
picture?
duplicated my headshot.
Oh, yeah.
Or just part of it.
It's like,
you know?
she's
Yeah.
talking about 1.5.
Yeah. So just drop it out and then re-upload it.
Okay.
So have you already, and while you're still in editing widgets, you can still go back to that widget and do it.
Okay.
But if you try to, so here's the thing is, anything that's on the left, those puzzle pieces are already in place. What is on them, you cannot drag and drop. Do not try to move the content on the page. It will disconnect that piece of formatted material from that page, and it's almost like then it's another floating puzzle piece on top of that other puzzle piece, if that makes sense. So it kind of detaches and you can't edit it in the same forms that you can edit everything else. Yes?
I'm still on this page, and
Okay.
so I went to Save and Apply, but it's flagged me for DBA logo.
On
And-
this, on Market Snap,
Yeah.
because there isn't even a form for DBA logo. Oh, you're on agent branding.
How did I get back over there? Because I'm on page number 4.
Yeah, but you're on 4 or 5, so you skipped one of the widgets somewhere. So you can tell what widget in your, so you're on listing right now.
Okay.
So you did not do Market Snap, which is fine. So all that this means is that you just need to drag and drop, so go back one more for me. You'll just need to, on that box, add in your DBA logo. Either the one that you have added in is too small or not the right format or whatever, so it may tell you, please add in a larger one, it may tell you something like that, but you'll just need to drag and drop like the DBA logo. You should have that either saved somewhere on your computer.
Is that my personal logo or the KW?
KW.